Hello students, we are going to start chapter 4, metals and non-metals. So in this chapter we are going to learn about the physical properties of metals and non-metals, chemical properties of metals and non-metals, and uses of metals and non-metals. Okay, now look at the picture given below. Can you name the element used for making these articles? Like pencil, we use graphite. Thermometer, we use mercury. Electric wires, we use copper metal. Foil paper, the foil paper is made up of aluminium. So this in this each element is having a unique composition, and all elements differ from one another in their properties. So every element like graphite, mercury, copper, they aluminium foil, they differ in their properties. Because of these properties, they are used in the variety of ways in our daily life. But all elements also possess some common properties based on their similarity in their properties. We can divide the elements into two groups, that is metals and non-metals. So now the question arises, what are metals? Okay, can you give some examples of metals? Okay, like metals like iron, copper, aluminium, which you frequently come in your daily life. Why they are called as metals? The question is why they are called as metals. Now we are going to discuss the definition. What is metal? Metals are mostly solid that are hard, lustrous, malleable, ductile, sonorous, and good conductors of heat and electricity. How can you define a metal? A metal is an element which have these properties. It is solid, it should be hard, it should be lustrous. Lustrous means shining. Malleable means they can be changed into sheet. Ductile means they can be changed into wire. Sonorous means they can produce sound, and they are good conductors of heat and electricity. Example: copper, gold, silver, iron, aluminium. These are some examples of metals. Next, what are non-metals? Non-metals are those substances which are soft, which are not malleable, which are not ductile, which are not hard, which are not non-sonorous, and bad conductors of electricity. Means opposite properties of metals, they come under non-metals. Then what are non-metals? Give some examples of non-metals. Example: carbon. You can take carbon, sulfur, phosphorus, graphite, nitrogen, oxygen. They come under non-metals. Now in this chapter we are going to learn the properties of metals and non-metals. First we will be discussing the physical properties of metals and non-metals, then some chemical properties. This is an important chapter. You are going to learn the same thing in grade 10th also. So the first we are going to see the physical properties of metals. So first is, metals are solid at room temperature. They are generally solid at room temperature and crystalline in nature. Example: magnesium, aluminium, copper. Okay, see, have you seen iron? It is solid in nature. Copper, that is also solid in nature. Most of the metals which exist in the nature are solid in nature, except one metal, that is mercury, which is in the liquid state at the room temperature. Then what about non-metals? Non-metals, they exist in the solid form, in the gaseous form, and in the liquid form. Solid form, if you take an example like carbon, that is coke. You see, the carbon is in the solid form. Gaseous 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 form, gaseous state like oxygen, chlorine, hydrogen, nitrogen, they come under the gaseous state. They exist in the gas form. Whereas liquid, bromine is a non-metal which is a liquid in nature. This is an exception. Okay, bromine is a non-metal which is liquid in the nature. Next, luster. Okay, luster means shiny. Most of the metals are lustrous, like gold. Whenever you see the gold, they are shining. They shine. Silver, platinum. Okay, every metal is shiny in the nature. But in non-metals, there is a lack of this property. That is the lack of luster. They are not shiny in appearance, like chlorine, hydrogen, sulfur, carbon. They are not shiny. Only one exceptional case is iodine. Iodine is shiny in nature, whereas in graphite and diamond, you have seen diamond also, you have seen graphite which is present in the pencils as a lid, they are shiny. So this is an exceptional case. Next, hardness. Metals are hard, whereas non-metals are soft. Exceptional cases are also there in the metals as well as in non-metals, like sodium. Sodium is so soft that it can be cut with the knife. Potassium is also so soft that it can be cut with the knife. So this is an exceptional case. Sodium, potassium, and calciums are examples of the soft metals. In non-metals, carbon, non-metals are soft, but exception is carbon. Diamond, diamond is the one of the hardest substance known. If we have to cut the diamond, we require a drilling machine. Our next property is malleability and brittleness. Okay, what is malleability? Malleability means the property by which the metal can be beaten into sheet. We can beat the metals into sheet. If they changes into sheet, they are malleable. And brittleness means if this is the property that we can break the element easily when we hit them. So most of the metals are malleable, but they are not brittle. Most of the non-metals are brittle, but they are not malleable. Okay, if you try to break the carbon, it will change into powdered form. But if you try to break the iron, you cannot change the iron into powder form. So brittleness is not there in the metals. Okay, similarly, non-metals cannot be changed into sheets. Go on beating the metal, it will be changing into the sheets. So metals are malleable, whereas non-metals are not malleable. Metals are not brittle, whereas non-metals are brittle in nature. Next, ductility. This is the property of the metals that can be drawn into wires. This is known as ductility. We can change the metals into thin wires. So most of the metals are ductile. You can change most of the metals into thin wire, like gold, silver, aluminium, copper. Non-metals are not ductile. That is carbon, sulfur, we cannot change into wires. Next, thermal conductivity. Thermal conductivity is the ability of the substance to allow the heat to pass through them, is known as thermal. If this is the property in which the heat can be passed. So metals are good conductors of heat. They are widely used in making of the cooking utensils, like silver and copper. Okay, they are good conductors of heat, whereas most of the non-metals are bad conductors of heat, except diamond. Diamond is a good conductor of heat. Next, electrical conductivity. Electrical conductivity means which can the property of a substance which allow the electrical current to pass through them is known as electrical conductivity. Most of the metals are good conductors of the electricity. We see the electrical wires, they are made up of copper or aluminium. So they are good, as they are good conductor of electricity, the electricity can pass through them. But most of the non-metals are bad conductors of electricity, except an allotrope of carbon, that is graphite. It is a good conductor of electricity. Next, sonorous. The property by which metals can be produce a ringing sound when struck with a hard object. Try to beat a metal, it will produce a sound. But non-metals, they does not produce a sound, so they are non-sonorous. Okay, so these are the physical properties of metals and non-metals. Next, science in contest. Most of the metals do not exist in the nature as the pure element. They are naturally found occurring compounds called ores. Okay, most of the elements they doesn't exist in the pure, means they are always found with the other compounds. Okay, next, activity, malleability and electrical conductivity. You can try to do this activity. These activities are performed carefully in the presence of the teacher. We have to do this activity, either we will do in the grade or we can do in the lab. Okay, to examine the malleability and electrical conductivity of metals and non-metals, materials required: hammer, piece of magnesium, copper or graphite, carbon, plastic, iron rod, iron nail or rod, battery, insulated copper wire, small transparent light bulbs and clips. So for the malleability, what you have to do, you have to take the piece of the metals or whatever elements you have given, and you have to try to beat with the hammer. And what you observe, when copper is beaten, it is changed into sheet. When magnesium, we will beat it, as it is a metal, it changes into sheet. When graphite is beaten, it changes into powdered form. Try to beat the graphite, it will change into powdered form because it is a non-metal. Whereas carbon also changes into powdered form, that is, it is brittle in nature. Okay, similarly, electrical conductivity, you if we make a circuit and put and metal in it, then as metals are good conductor of electricity, the bulb will glow. Whereas when you put a non-metal like plastic spoon, the bulb in the circuit will not glow. This is because they are non-metals. Similarly, thermal conductivity also we can do. When you heat a metal from one end to the other end, what will happen? The heat from one end will passes to the other end, because the metals are good conductors of heat. So if you see this activity, in this sample copper wire and aluminium wire, what you observe, the other end will also get heat up. Whereas carbon and graphite rod, they will not heat up because they are bad conductors of electricity. Okay, next, moving to the chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Okay, see, this is an important topic, chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Reaction with oxygen. Okay, most of the metals reacts with the oxygen. When it reacts with the oxygen, it forms metal oxides. Metal plus oxygen, it forms metal oxide. For example, take iron. Leave the iron in the atmosphere for some days. What you will see? After some days, you will see that a brown color substance has been formed at the top. What is that? That is iron oxide. Iron has reacted with the oxygen present in the air, and it has formed iron oxide, which we called it as rust. Okay, so the basic reaction is metal plus oxygen gives rise to metal oxide. This is the metal oxide which you are obtained, they are basic in nature. Okay, you have to learn this reaction. Metal plus oxygen gives rise to metal oxide. Now come, we will take one metal like magnesium. The formula of magnesium is Mg and the formula of oxygen is O2. When Mg reacts with the oxygen, it forms magnesium oxide, that is MgO. You have to learn this basic equation. Similarly, sodium plus oxygen gives rise to sodium oxide, Na2O. Magnesium oxide is MgO, sodium oxide is Na2O. So this magnesium oxide and sodium oxide, they are basic in nature. Okay. Once again, we are seeing that magnesium on heating burns with the dazzling white light in presence of oxygen to form magnesium oxide. We can do this activity in the lab. Similarly, sodium and potassium reacts vigorously with the oxygen at room temperature to form sodium oxide and potassium oxide. And they catch fire if they are left open. Hence, they are stored in kerosene. Sodium and potassium, they are soft metals we have. It's one physical property. But when you take sodium and potassium and if they come in contact with the air, they form sodium oxide and potassium oxide. Formula of sodium oxide is Na2O. Potassium oxide is K2O. Now, when this oxide is formed, what happens? It catches fire. So, in order to avoid the reaction with the oxygen, it is stored in kerosene. Okay, kerosene oil. Next, non-metals. Non-metals reacts with the oxygen to form non-metal oxides. Metal reacts with the oxygen to form metal oxides. Then non-metal reacts with the oxygen to form non-metal oxides. These non-metal oxides are acidic in nature. Metal oxides are basic in nature. Non-metal oxides are acidic in nature. Like carbon plus oxygen, C plus O2 gives rise to CO2. Now, when this CO2 is dissolved in the water, it forms carbonic acid. You have to learn the formula H2CO3. What is carbonic acid? Carbonic acid is H2CO3. Similarly, S plus O2, sulfur plus oxygen gives sulfur dioxide. When this sulfur dioxide is made to dissolve in water, water is H2O, it forms sulfurous acid. The formula of sulfurous acid is H2SO3. Once again, I am repeating, carbon plus oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide. When carbon dioxide is dissolved in the water, it forms carbonic acid, H2CO3. Similarly, sulfur plus oxygen gives sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide, when it is made to react with the water, it gives sulfurous acid. Formula of sulfuric acid is H2SO3. You have to learn the reactions as well as the formulas. Reaction, this is an activity reaction of metals with the oxygen. This we can do in the lab. Similarly, the reactions of non-metals also, this we will do this activity in the lab. Okay, next see the questions. Choose the correct option of each of the following. Which of the following element has the ability to form acidic oxides? So acidic oxides, the non-metals forms acidic oxides, whereas the metals forms basic oxides. So among this, see the options lithium, sodium, carbon and beryllium. Among this, the non-metal is carbon. So carbon will form acidic oxide. The second question, which of the following element produces basic oxide? Basic oxides, all the metals gives basic, all the metals are basic in nature, basic in nature. So so metals, among this sulfur, phosphorus, calcium and chlorine. So calcium, the oxide form with the calcium is basic in nature. Which of the following element is stored in kerosene? I have told you that sodium and potassium is stored in kerosene. They are so soft that they can be cut easily with the knife. Why they are stored in the kerosene? Because they react with the oxygen and catches fire easily. So among sodium, magnesium, sulfur and carbon, which is stored? Sodium is stored. Okay. today we are going to end our topic and our session till here. Thank you.